Well, hello there and greetings, golf enthusiasts. Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. And I got to tell you, I'm very excited this week. We are at Kiowa Island Resort, just outside of beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, for the PGA Championship. It's another major, it's the second major of the year. And this course is fantastic. It's long, it's hard, it's windy. It's going to be just a great challenge for the players this week. And I'm looking forward to watching it. And you know what? I'm looking forward to what we're going to talk about in this week's episode of the Sommelier. Muscadine wine. Muscadine wine. Now, I got to say this. I don't have much experience with muscadine wine. I really don't. As a matter of fact, I've never had it before. This is going to be the first time I've ever had it on the show, so that should be interesting. But muscadine wine is basically sort of native to the South. We got it in Georgia and South Carolina, North Carolina, Mississippi, and it's just one of those kind of Southern wines because the grape sort of thrives in that hot, humid climate. But you got different types of muscadine grapes. You got your scupperdogs. That's one of them. I don't know what the other ones are, but that's one of them. And I just wanted to say that. Okay. But I do think you got some, you got some different colors. They range from green to black, and they're pretty large. As a matter of fact, I wanted to get some, but I guess they're just not in season right now because I couldn't find them at the local grocery store. But that's beside the point. Let's pour some we got some red muscadine here. Okay. We're gonna pour that real quick. Here we go. Okay, the first taste of muscadine wine ever in the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. This is an exciting moment. Wow, that is very sweet. My goodness. That was not a misconception about muscadine wine. It is definitely very, very sweet. I mean, whoa. Okay, well, let's start with the picks of the week. And as always, we're going to start with the price like a Sutter home, plays like a Camus play of the week. And that for me is going to be Cameron Tringali at 7,100. I'm giving him 90 points. And look, here's why. Okay. This guy has been just absolutely fantastic all season long. You look at his stats. I mean, strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained approach, strokes gained around the green, his driving accuracy, pretty much everything about Cameron Tringali points to another successful week here at Kiowa. I mean, you look at his recent form, he's had 3 top 15 finishes in his last 4 starts. He's made 13 of 17 cuts this year. And I feel like we're just always seeing Tringali, up there near the leaderboard at some point during a tournament, and then he's got some good finishes on top of that. So for me, Cameron Tringali makes a whole lot of sense down here. He's at 7,100, and you may ask why. Well, he's that cheap. I mean, the reason is just we've got such a great field. The pricing is pretty soft. You're going to get guys like Tringali this cheap, and you know what? I don't even think the ownership is going to be that high on him. I think you can play him in GPPs. I think you could even comfortably play him in cash. So for me, the price like a Sutter home, plays like a Camus play of the week is going to be Cameron Tringali, 90 points. All right, let's drink a little bit more of this muscadine sweet ass wine. Anyway, God, that's sweet. I can't even believe how sweet it is. But you know what? There's some health properties to muscadine wine. It actually, you might say it's the most super of super fruits. And here's what a superfruit is. It means it's kind of healthy. All right. So muscadine grapes actually have high levels of polyphenols. Okay. Polyphenols. I mean, that's a big word, but basically like antioxidants, which means like they like do things that, to like if you got bad things in your body, they're anti on them. So they're just pow, 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 hitting them with antioxidants. Okay. So you got bad acids in your body, or you got some bad things swimming around in there. Maybe some muscadine wine is going to help you. It's got just some battling antioxidants in there, and that's something that's good. It's also high in ellagic acid, okay? And it's actually the only wine that produces ellagic acid. And what it does is it reduces fatty liver. Now, I'm no doctor, okay? We know that. I mean, I've talked about this many times on the show. But I feel like if you're drinking like drinking wine and you're drinking a decent amount, maybe it's good to have something that reduces a fatty liver. I don't know. That just makes sense to me. So muscadine wine can do that as well. You just got to get through the sweetness of it. Now, I will say this. I brought something that I thought was going to help me because I was thinking this is really sweet wine. Now, muscadine wine, just a little spill there. I brought some ice, okay? So I'm gonna pour some ice. Now, normally I wouldn't drink ice in wine, but I feel like this wine requires some ice. Okay, so I put it in there. That helps it. You definitely want this wine cold. Whew. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the Boone's Farm Vintage Fade of the Week. And for me, that's going to be Joaquin Neiman. Yes, Joaquin Neiman. He is at 7,800 on DraftKings. And look, all right, I know it's Joaquin. I know it's Joaquin, but I just wanted to say Joaquin. But anyway, you look at I mean, I don't like where I'm seeing his ownership kind of up there near like 15%. Not a big fan of that for Neiman. I hate his scrambling stats. As the week has gone on, I mean, just in 2 days here, Monday and Tuesday, if you listen to a lot of interviews, you talk to caddies and you listen to what's going on there, scrambling is a huge part of this course because they're gonna miss these greens. I mean, they're hitting irons and freaking fairway woods into some of these par fours. I mean, like a guy like Zach Johnson. I mean, he's pulling off the head cover on all these par fours just to reach a green. They're going to miss them. And that means you got to be good at getting up and down. Okay. You got to be able to scramble all over the place for pars, and then if you got a chance to make a birdie like on a par five, you got to be able to scramble. You got to, I mean, I just don't like where his scrambling stats are. I don't like his driving accuracy either. He's long off the tee. He's good on approach. All those things I do like, but he's got terrible driving accuracy. And these fairways are kind of large, but if you spray it all over the place, you're going to get into some trouble. And I feel like Neiman can do that. And I just not comfortable playing 7,800 for Joaquin Neiman. And I'm actually going to give you a good pivot play when we talk about the pop the court play of the week. So I'm going to do that for you. But right now, Neiman, I'm out. Okay. I'm out on Neiman. He's the Boone's Farm fade of the week. I'm going to give him 81 points. Now, 81 points is pretty high for a fade. That kind of gives you the confidence level here. But anyway, he's going to be the fade. Okay. Now, I think finally with muscadine wine, we need to talk about some tasting notes. Okay. Now, I've mentioned one tasting note many, many times. It is very sweet. So that's one thing. Apparently, some dry ones do exist that aren't as sweet. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe it. It definitely has an acquired taste, but it's kind of has like some ripe banana, like and then like a bruised apple. Like when you get to eat an apple and you get that big old bruise on there, and you avoid that bruise. But with muscadine, they said when they're creating the muscadine wine, they were like, no, we're gonna make that bruise we're gonna make something out of that bruise, okay? We're not gonna avoid the bruise. We're not gonna say bad things about it and just shun it aside. No, we're gonna take a bruised apple and that taste, and we're gonna put it in some muscadine wine, okay? And then you got kind of some lime peel, some cranberry, like a rubber cement kind of taste. But they're intense aromas, and there's also kind of a cough syrupy taste to it also. That's what I'm tasting right now, okay? So if you have a different one, it may not be cough syrupy. I don't think that, it really matters if you let this wine age. I really don't think it matters. I think the biggest thing is you need to water it down with a lot of ice, and you probably serve it to, guests that you really don't like. Like if you have a guest and you don't want them ever to come back to your house and your nice fine dinner, you give them some muscadine wine and they will never come back. And you act like it's the greatest thing ever, but you put something else in your glass. Okay. Now, look, I'm not trying to say bad things about muscadine wine. Some people may like it. I don't have to like everything in the Fantasy Golf Sommelier. Um, all right, that's all. That's all I can take there. All right, let's move on to the pop the cork play of the week. And now, this is the play that I told you I was going to give you a pivot play and off of Neiman. And for me, it's going to be Shane Lowry at 7,800, also, just like Neiman. You look at Shane Lowry, I mean, his scrambling stats are fantastic. His approach play is fantastic. He is a great win player. I mean, if you go into your stat tools, find a way to throw in the wind, like Fantasy National. We love Fantasy National, okay? Let me bring up that fantasynational.com/TJ. You can go check out the players that play in the best in windy AF in that condition. And you know what? Shane Lowry shows up. And he should, okay? He should. We've seen him win the Open Championship. Usually those are windy conditions. Usually they're very tough. So I like Shane Lowry here at 7,800. I'm seeing him at more than half the ownership that you're going to get Joaquin Neiman at, okay? So why not just pivot over to Shane Lowry, forget about Joaquin Neiman, Joaquin Neiman. I don't want any Joaquin. I want some Shane. In my lineups at 7,800, I'm giving him 92 points this week for the PGA Championship. All right, that's all I got for this week's Fantasy Golf Sommelier. Those are your picks. We've talked about muscadine wine. You know what? Not every wine that we try here in the Fantasy Golf Sommelier, I'm going to like, okay? Or you may not like. But you know what? If you do like muscadine wine, or if you've got a suggestion for me of one that I might like, hey, comment on the video. Tell me what you think. You can tell me what you think about the picks this week. Let me know. Okay. Other than that, that's really all I got. I'm excited for the week. Can't wait to see Kiowa and how it plays. And, good luck with your lineups. Good luck with your bets. I will see everyone next week. That's all I got. Out.